First of all, I have to say that we are really lucky to see you here in Moscow, especially during these pandemic things and lockdowns. My first question is connected with Electra, with your production, because once you said that you preferred to rewrite the whole story and you called it Reverse to Cinderella. So who is she? I can guess that she's a hippie, some kind of, or a feminist.
She's a fighter, she's a warrior. First of all, I wrote the play, which is very ambitious, but to adapt a play to contemporary now, with a play that is 2,500 years old, has its limit adaptation. You can't, there is a limit to that. So I wanted to have the freedom of this myth, this story, to do it the way I wanted to. And I think she's a survivor. I mean, and it tells the story of the world, that one day you're a queen, next day you're a beggar. One day you're a king, next day you're a servant.
Why you decided to speak out about women's rights? Is it connected with Me Too movement, or it was an idea before that?
No. It's been, for me, it's been a long process. It's been like 30 years. My work is always connected with the feminine world, which has been shut down for so long, and I need to understand women. I mean, this silence that has been brought on top of women, I need to understand it in order to understand myself a little bit, because they're half of the population. Half the population is shut down, unlistened, unheard, and I need to, I need for myself to make a better world for me and my kids.
For me also, when I saw your production, I thought that this is not a story of the tragedy of one family. This is more than just a tragedy. It is connected with all these news reports that we see. I mean, war, humiliation.
It is connected. Whatever you do, you're doing it now. I mean, people, I don't like to put emphasis on exact geographic or historic things that are happening now, because I want to stay away from the news. I want to stay away from the big show that is called news. I think that this is one kind of brainwashing people, or making them think the way the governments, different governments want them to think. I think there is still a large space of freedom in the theater, where you can express your world and your time by telling this kind of stories. This is my thing. I mean, we go beyond the news, beyond what is called the l'actualité, because I think that the work of also the journalists has narrowed down. The people cannot work the way they wanted to do, because they have so much pressure, political pressure, money pressure, etc., etc. We're still free in a way in the theater. People of theater are still free to develop thoughts that are not being developed in the television, let's say, or in the newspaper.
Don't you think that there is a big difference between the freedom in theater and in cinema? You can compare, I think.
Yeah, I mean, cinema also is linked to, it's such a big industry that you are, the impact of the cinema is much stronger, because people see it in larger number. But nonetheless, there are people, artists in the cinema, who keep telling the situation of the world according to their vision, to their view, to their sensibility. And this is very much important, no matter if you're in the theater or in the cinema, as long as you tell your word. Because people say, oh, it's a political play, it's a political film. Everything is political. When Rambo decides to kill everyone without going through judgment, it's political. It says, kill the people you don't like yourself, don't go to the law. It is a statement in itself, you know. everything is a statement. So me, I want to, first of all, to tell stories. I mean, I cannot go beyond my capacity. My capacity, my expertise is theater for the moment. I will do also maybe one day, not maybe, I will one day do films. But the pressure is different because to raise money for the cinema, it's bigger money. Then you have to first have the producer, then the distributor, and then worldwide how you spread your work. This is a different kind of work. I'm not there yet. I will soon, but not there, not yet.
How did you find the audiences differences between American audience, French and Russian?
I don't know. Audience is an audience, you know. You have to accept whom you work for, you know. This is we are, how do you say that? We are friends in the beginning, but not knowing yet that we are friends. But it's a difficult thing to go to the theater. It's not easy. It's not easy to play, but it's not easy to go to the theater because you don't know what you are going to see. You never know. When you go to a restaurant, you say, I hope to have a good meal, okay? But now people put little stars under the restaurants and stuff. Me, I don't believe in that. I have to go myself, eat myself and taste and then say, it was good or less or more. Theater is the same. It's, you pay, you give 2 hours of your life in the dark room, and it's an experiment. And to talk about the Russian audience, the Russian audience is highly educated audience because they have the history of theater behind them, and big, and Russia contributed to theater. I don't want to name all the authors and the people who worked hardly to make the theater evolve, like Meyerhold, Vakhtangov, Mayakovsky, Chekhov, everyone. And they gave us food to grow up and to continue to go. So the audience is the children of this. You cannot erase, no matter what happens in this country, this will remain forever, I think. Even though you see that liberalism, people, money, business, etc., but this will stay. Because this is the soul of this, it's part of this soul. This is what I think. So it's different when you go to play in America. It's not a better or worse audience, but they don't have the same education. The education there is different. The sensitivity comes from another way, another place. You know, we have the sense of, also in France, we share this, the spirit and the sense of the tragic, you know. Maybe the American theater is more psychological theater, you know, it's, which I like, but it's different. And also, what I experimented in Los Angeles, let's say I lived there, I directed the play there with the Actors Gang. It's not the love of theater that makes, the theater is a room where they go through to end up in the cinema, you know? Yeah, it's a little passage, you know what I mean? It's a job. Me, I'm not doing a job. It's my life.
The way of living?
Yeah, it's my life. This is the way I live, you know. When I will do cinema, I will do the same. I will do with the collective people, with people I love, with people I appreciate, I respect, and people who are ready to dive into a dimension that is not easy. Because what I want is not easy. What I need, what I demand, it's not easy playing. You know, I have, I think, a good ear and a good eye. Sometimes I close my eyes, I listen, and acting has become very popular now. You know, in 20, 30 years ago.
Acting in general, you mean?
Acting in general. When 40, 30 years ago, people would say, the bourgeois people would say to their kids, no theater. Lawyer, doctor, professor, business, I don't know.
It's not a profession.
Now it has become a profession because there's a lot of money to make. You know, when you see the platforms, Netflix, etc., Amazon, etc., there's a lot of work, a lot of work. But it doesn't mean because there is a lot of work that the work is good.
Electra's premiere, if I'm not mistaken, was in 2019 in fabulous and legendary Théâtre du Soleil. And you were a member of famous company of Ariane Mnouchkine, and it would be great to hear about this experience. And was it difficult for you to establish yourself not only as an actor but also as a director?
You know, with Ariane, it's people to people. It's not you cannot monkey. You know, you cannot do things like that. We work together. We love each other, and I learned everything I know with her. I mean, the basics of my art, of my craft, I learned it with Ariane, and also the sense of being a collective, being a company. It is a kind of utopia, but even if it's difficult to achieve, I try to do the same in a way. And I worked well with Ariane. We got along very well, and then I decided to leave and started to make my own work. And the thing is that you have to be yourself without betraying what you have learned, but it's a very narrow path, you know, because you cannot be her, and I don't want to be her. I want to be me. But the tools that she gave me, I still have them in my suitcase.
This production has won 3 Molières, and this is the most popular awards in France. Did it change something? I mean, the feeling that you are rewarded now?
It does change, of course. I mean, we don't work for that. I don't work for an award. The award is a consequence of a work more or less well done. You know, our work was more or less well done, and the energy that is on stage obviously touched the people. The text, the writing, the music, this kind of total theater got to them. So of course it changes because people who want to buy the show outside or France see these things and say, oh, maybe we should, you know, get closer to it. But it's not because you get a Molière that the work is automatically good. Doesn't mean it has its limit also. It has its limits.
Could you tell me more about your future plans? Do you plan to go to international tour, or you are preparing new production?
I am working on a new production. I'm starting to write. I want to talk about the Amazons and talk about women warriors until now. So I have, and it's not only warring, I mean, making war on battlefield, it's also fighting in a professional field, surrounded with men. So I have 4 main women characters. A pianist, an Armenian pianist who lives in France and doesn't speak Armenian at all and has to go back to Armenia for a certain reason. An archaeologist woman who finds the skeleton in Lori region. And a 3rd woman who comes back from the 44 days fighting from Artsakh. So these 3 destinies are mixed together and surrounded with men also, of course. Good men and also bad men, often bad men. And I will go from the Greeks and the Trojan War until now. So I could go through the Kurdish fighters too, but not everybody knows, but we had Armenian women fighters during the 8th and 19th century who were not famous as they are now because we didn't have any television or whatever, but we know. And I don't make any difference anyway between a Kurdish woman fighting for her freedom or an Armenian woman fighting her freedom or a Russian woman fighting during the Second World War for her freedom. They fought, you know, they fought because they had to. But at the end, the fight is not that important. It's what is important, what comes after, which is the peace. And about peace, do we have an equal share after having settled freedom, you know, peace? Suddenly the women are not in the sharing thing, you know, they're gone. I mean, why? You know what I'm saying? This is what I want to talk about. And voila. This is my future project. I want to I'm writing a film with another woman. Her name is Aude P. I will shoot it next year in Greece. It's about a family, in a Mediterranean family. And also I want to film this play afterwards, but not in the theater. I want to make a film with this crew. Et voilà, I have a lot of projects, and on top of it I work with other cinema artists as an actor. And I want, you know, to have a good sleep when I sleep, and a good conscience when I die. You know, and my work is to, because when you talk about conscience, what is consciousness? What is your conscience? What is it? For me, it's the future generation. It's the kids. And so I would look into their eyes without being ashamed of what I try to do.
Like you say, for your children.
Of course, for the future generation. And we are, how do you say that? It's a constant thing of, you know, during the war in Lebanon, let's say, the civil war, people, the men, destroyed the country, and the people who held the families together were the women. It's a truth. I mean, it's a fact. So voilà, this is a lot of work. I'm going to do a long play. Like it was going to be 9 hours, one part, second part, and third part. And I don't know yet if there will be many languages in it, or only in French, or if I will mix French, English, Armenian, Russian, etc. I will see. I don't know yet. But I know there will be definitely Armenian taste in it.
Sometime in Russia, I heard like some kind of things that theater workers or artists or wherever, they had to do only their job without politics. But what we are talking now, it is about politics.
When you talk about your word, you are doing politics. I mean, even if you don't pronounce the word, there is some issues, political issues. Like I don't know, because I never studied the real facts. Like I don't know. People during the pandemic make interview to people and say, "Do you think this vaccine is good or not?" And people answer. I mean, how can you answer? You're not a doctor, you know. But doing the theater, you don't have to say, talk. I mean, I talk about politics with my friend, because politics, what is politics? Politics is the science who organize the life of the country or a city and to make a better life for the greatest number. This is politics. This is nothing else. And have a good or a bad situation with your neighbors. This is politics. This is nothing else. So it concerns me. Before, during the kings, we were subject. Then we were citizens. Now we are consumers. And I am not a consumer. I am a citizen, who is concerned with his work. That's all. I mean, I'm not into politics because I don't want to go into politics. I don't have this passion, because you have to have a passion for that and you have to have the competence for that. I don't have them either. So the thing that I have is I live in it, and I cannot pretend things that are happening that I don't see. You know, racism, sexism, war, capitalism, that is, you know, poor people, more and more poor people. I cannot. You walk into Parisian streets, and many people working, sleeping, not working, I mean, sleeping in the streets, you know, more and more. And it's going more and more.
You can't pretend. Yeah.
People say, okay, it's normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. This is, voilà. I'm not saying I cannot change. I can change the thing. I cannot, but I can try. I can try, and people cannot tell me, don't talk about that. Okay, we don't talk about that, and it doesn't exist. It's not because you don't name something that it exists. So, well, it's a game. It's a cat and mouse game, you know, and you have to find the right moments and the right limits and forms of to contest or to have. There are some forms that I don't like, you know, like make selfies in front of buildings, or making videos about saying it's not my stuff. I have to go deep in the subject and to have good knowledge about what I'm trying to talk. You know, if not, it's not interesting, because now we don't have political views. We have how do you say, you agree or don't, you know? What do you think? You are angry, you are unhappy. This is not politics. This is only manipulation on the short term.
And you can't be somewhere in the middle, I think.
No.
You have to choose.
No, yes, you have to choose, and also it's you know, me. I need to talk to people. I need to progress while I'm doing a work. I mean, this is not working. This is just reacting to things. I cannot react to everything that is happening in the world. I try to work honestly and in an intelligent way. I mean, intelligent, which means that you are being understood, you know, like. And even if we have in theater moments of complete open minds and you understand, and sometimes you have to have a key to understand what has the authors, you know, said. You know, it's a work. We work together. The audience come, the audience works. We work. We all work together. This is what I am interested in, you know. And at the end, when people say thank you, it is also my salary. It's a form of payment for me, you know.
I want to also say thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.